Born in 2 and 3. Okay. Woo! That was scary. Game 4. Grand Finals GESC Thailand CIS Qualifier. Team Spirit down 1-2 to the Vega Squadron. And the Sharks are going to have second pick for this one. They will get their Nature's Prophet and their Bounty Hunter banned out. But they go for the Lifestealer. Again, in response to this Tiny. This seems to be their bread and butter pick. Not only against Tiny, but for Palantimos in general. Put him in the safe and mid lane, depending on the matchup. And they will opt to pick up the Rubik alongside it. Team Spirit going to go for the Chen on top of the Tiny. Now, of course, Lifestealer, one of the better heroes against Chen's rotations early on. But in general, you're not rotating towards the safe lane. So maybe we see Vega flex the Lifestealer to mid, depending on the matchup. In any case, they certainly will be comfortable with this opening, and not that we can't say the same for Secret, who had Spirit, excuse me, who had first pick. But Vega's perhaps the ones with a slight bit more leeway, having the 2-1 lead. Underlord ban comes out from Team Spirit, and they will also remove that Earth Spirit. Treant is available for Vega, and it is something that they have shown their propensity to pick up in the past quite a bit. And there it is. So in an elimination game, you know, they ignored it last game, and almost as if to set up for this one, Vega as well didn't pick it up. But I believe Vega opened with their support duo and or opened with the Earth Spirit anyways, so they couldn't have picked up this Treant. But opening with the Rubik certainly allows them to go for it, and this is something that they play very well. And also having the defensive capability up against the Chen with the living armor is nice. Not to mention, if they can manage to defend their towers, being able to heal them back up against a Chen lineup is always going to be big game. So Vega is their comfort pick here. We'll see which direction Spirit wants to take this in. Again, Team Spirit did seem to favor the PL against the Lifestealer. And against the Root of the Treant, seems like it could be a good pick. They will pick the Spirit Breaker for now, so kind of a direct counter to the Treant if you get a charge on him. Kind of nullifies what the Nature's Guise allows him to do in some respects. Carry a pack of dust. Kind of an awkward support duo, though, the Chen Spirit Breaker. Almost feels like Chen needs to be in lane from moment one, or they need to pick some super self-sufficient laner. You know, perhaps a range carry, perhaps a lone druid. But here's already a hero that's pretty decent at dealing with LD, and also a very good natural vessel for the Lifestealer, as is the Treant. It's a bit, you know, not a bit entirely unorthodox, but, you know, mid laner in the fourth pick can kind of be countered out. Puck, though, in general, has a pretty damn good lane matchup against most mid laners, and is fairly resilient to what Spirit Breaker offers in the early game. A little less so to Chen, but you can always kind of jaunt away if you save your orb. And there is, again, living armor, potentially the defensive TP from Rubik, so I don't think it's all that risky to pick the puck here. A lot of good mids banned already. The Razor out of the pool, as he has been almost all tournament. FNG does seem like he's a little puzzled at this point, whittling down his reserve time to 3 seconds. Goes back for his Visage. Okay, so it'll be likely the mid lane Visage. Unless they put it safe, which is also possible. Looking for more than likely what is the solo laner for Vega. And maybe can combo up with a Treant. Wouldn't mind seeing the Pangolier here, in all honesty. Can clear up the Chen creeps. Is pretty good up against the Spirit Breaker and the Visage. It can just roll at the Visage in the backlines. Isn't really worried about the Stone Form dropping on him. It's going to be a Night Stalker ban from Spirit. And see what their final pick is. Could be a mid laner. Maybe something like a sniper would work for them. They can go a bit greedy here. They don't have too many farmers. A lot of space creation with the Chen, Tiny, and Spirit Breaker. And that definitely fits the bill as far as greed goes. So they'll pick the TB here. Just a good matchup in a vacuum 1v1 against a Lifestealer. But the puck is a pretty good way to deal with the TB. Still kind of like the Pango, but I feel like they can really pick a lot of things here. Even Centaur seems decent. Beastmaster is there as well. Vega with their final pick, looking to make their way to Thailand for the first ever Valve Minor in Thailand, the first ever Dota event in Thailand. Good guy GESC trying to grow the scene there, and they will pick up the Brewmaster. So that will certainly kind of dig into the greed there, as far as kind of throwing the Drunken Haze on this TB all the early game. And offers a hell of a lot of team fight into the mid game as well. Or DK Phobos, man. Well, G8 doesn't seem. I think those gloves are cosmetic, maybe. In any case, we're going to lean on their Terrorblade once again. And didn't fare all that well last time around. All correctly. 2-1, guys. Grand Finals, best of 5. Vega looking to secure their ticket to Thailand, and Spirit looking to square this up 2-all and take it to a deciding Game 5. Illidan gonna make his way down bottom to begin on the Terrorblade. And certainly doesn't want to be opposite the Brewmaster. Zayat's on the Treant. He'll make his way top alongside the Brew. Interesting. So the Radiant blocking up their own camp here. Well, maybe they're anticipating this aggressive movement. Well, they know they'll be against a Chen. Not that interesting. Similar story up top. Gonna protect their offlaner from the side pull. And Slayer hanging around, sees the Chen and the TB perhaps from this angle, and well, that's an easy extra rune for us. He tells his Lifestealer, and it is 3 runes for Vega. FNG walking over top. Oh, and actually going for the Drunken Brawler point in the first level, and gets 2 crits, I feel, right away for Blizzy. FNG only 2 tangles on his person, so actually takes quite a bit of damage. Nature's Guys is there, a couple big clubs from the Treant, and generally speaking, Spirit Breaker can trade early on, but not with this guy. Denied. Undershock 1-on-1 against G. 1-on-1 with the Great One. Mid lane. And Zayat's hanging around here. Tries to jump forward for the root proc. Will not get it. And actually taking some big right clicks from the tree. Ironically enough. Tiny pulls a tree out. Smacks a tree with it. Kind of hurts. Tree on tree crime, you know. I'm clicked on a creep, guys. I apologize. Really not having the Drunken Haze level 1 seems to kind of hurt Blizzy here, but... Interesting brawler point skill. 4-2 for Undershock to the 3-0 of the Visage. Meanwhile, Illidan bot lane does have 3 CS in some odd world. And of course, we missed the Brewmaster going down. From a stone. Yeah, I don't know about that skill point in Drunken Brawler, man. I'm puzzled a bit, but he gets back to lane very quickly, and there's a double wave under his tower. So really, as an offlaner, you're totally okay with that death, despite it being first blood. 3 mud golems here, and Slayer is likely to fall. They do get the open wounds off and telekinesis away, and there's no creeps there. So Biver may be expecting the camp to be there for the extra like split. And doesn't get it done. Invisibility. Slayer still beneath the tower here is going to be pursued. And they will end up getting the kill. Palantimos in the meantime doing the bounty rune relay, as I like to call it. And mid lane, Dayat's hanging around invisible, waiting for a courier. And won't find one just yet. It's all the way up at top lane. See on the summit courier. Charge coming out bottom. Palantimos, no point in rage just yet. Needs to ding 3 and fast. And he won't. And he's likely to fall here. Well, there is a living armor briefly. And he does have 8 wand charges. But he gets bashed up. And he'll be fine to survive. Still though, 3 minutes in, only level 3 is a concern. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, DK Phobos, almost level 4 on this Tiny, and the Terrorblade, similar to the Lifestealer. Stolen. Weird little guys making all those sounds. There's the Drunken Haze. He's going to make it a little bit more difficult for DK Phobos. Good lane here. Undershock in the mid. Kind of in a true 1v1, whereas bottom lane TPing in is the Treant. Open Wounds comes out. Nature's Guys is there for Zayats and trying to make his way over to the trees into the root. is Illidan. Fade Bolt, one more right click, they'll take down the Terrorblade, and Blizzy will posture himself defensively so as not to feed anything back over. Biver rotating towards the boundary rune. Both heroes scared of one another. That was an awkward moment. If we're trying to walk by someone, they go left, you go left, they go right, you go right. And then you just put your head down and take your phone out or something. One of the great human experiences. Penitence goes out bottom lane. Troll is a little bit far away, the Troll Summoner, and can't get the net off onto Palantimos. Doesn't feel like they would have been able to kill him with level 1 meta anyways. Undershot going to cop some harass with the Grave Chill coming out. Slayer nearby, and as G walks up onto the hill, it is nighttime. There was potential to grab him there, but with 1 level in the Gravely Keeper's Cloak, pretty damn hard to bring down. And CS low for Blizzy. It was hard. It was hard, to be honest. Sentry in the bottom lane is going to scout Zayats, and he's hanging around trying to look for it here. And Illidan will actually get his first. Charge does come through. Dust is there, as is the reflection. Sorry, I was listening to the Terrorblade emote. I guess I'll have to look that up after. But he does find the kill on the Treant with the reflection and meta use for it as well. The Dark Troll Summoner coming in to aid in that, and they have 2 siege creeps now as they TP back in the Treant. Glyph going to be popped here, and Slayer from the north side rotating in. Root is going to be there, as is the Open Wound. Slayer needs to come through with the Fade Bolt, and it's actually on CD, and they will send back the Terrorblade to base, but it's kind of mission accomplished, sending him back to base. Even though he do have 2 kills, he will miss a wave or 2 here. Overall, Vega pretty happy with the CS.
Regeneration.
DK Phobos, since Drunken Haze has been skilled, has been struggling. And Undershock doing very well in the mid lane. Meanwhile, Blizzy split at the ready. Well, he's being someone's being charged up, and he will get connected on in the meantime. So that rotation with the first primal split will be identified, and therefore forced to back is the SB. Zayat's nearby, doesn't get the root off onto Illidan, but the Open Wounds will be there, and they'll instantly send him back once again. I suppose it's better than dying, but it's still a lot of time spent off the map. 19 CS for Illidan here. And he has had some rough games in this series on the carry position. G going to begin farming up, though. He's level 7, highest in the game alongside the Puck, and his CS is pretty good as well. So they may have to lean on him and the rest of the crew to create some space, and certainly they should be capable with the Tiny getting the farm he is, and the Spirit Breaker being the hero he is. FNG up top lane. They're going to maybe just try to force out the split here. As Blizzy going to drag the wave back into a much more safe position. And Slayer moving in on mid. And now the TP with the split. Here it is, the setup. Nighttime. Coil is there. Split instantly popped as the Brewling's a lot faster than the hero. And the Boulder Toss will go out. Orb will be there to dodge the Avalanche. Beautifully played by Undershock. They may end up losing Slayer for this, as he'll be charged on, and even the Terrorblade rotating in. Gets his Fade Bolt off, though, and with the split, FNG in trouble. Now Blizzy has a clap, will drop it onto Illidan. Illidan, of course, does not have the Sunder, and he will drop to Undershock. Triple kill for the Puck. Has a lot of stick charges, but he will end up going down. And the killing spree is going to be claimed by DK Phobos. When all is said and done, ends up being a 3-for-3. As yes, they do get the Visage early. And all things pretty even. The Tiny, the main beneficiary on the Spirit side, and Puck with 500 gold, 500 experience on the Vega side. Slayer going to find some time to himself mid lane. at the 9-minute mark try and get a level, and the tome will take him to 6 if needed. Treant at about the same pace leveling wise, so perhaps the tome goes his way. Okay, Phobos could be in trouble here. Nature's Guide is going to pop off, but charge queued up. Now Undershock is present with the Lifestealer, but top lane they're looking to go in on the Brewmaster. 40 seconds until split's available. He'll simply clap onto the Spirit Breaker and trade with him. Meanwhile, bot lane, Coil is going to find 2. The Lifestealer going to come out looking for the Chen. Can they focus fire enough? They do get him with the snap of the Coil.
That's for your impertinence.
And Tiny will be able to make it out. I'm not entirely sure it's worth Undershock's rotation there bottom lane, as mid lane they do take a lot of damage on their tower. And in fact, the Treant just aids in that cause with the Grave Chill being there. And a beautiful deny by Zayats, but with your Treant, you never want to lose your towers, especially the mid lane tower. And so, again, I question the kind of justification of the rotation bottom by Undershock. He was doing well to keep the Visage off the lane, off the tower in the mid lane, and the minute he leaves, G takes advantage. Helm of the Dominator up on the Visage here. Aquila as well. And the Blightstone now.
Interesting.
Zayat's hanging around bottom lane. Rubik near his level 6 mark. Okay, Phobos near the tower, but no support inbound just yet. And again, kind of giving up this tower damage, a little bit concerning. Slayer nearby, but they've even brought in the Visage. And, well, Slayer is dead.
Repent.
Yeah, he's just going to be tossed on. Undershock, though, he's inbound, looking to go on G. And with the Primal Split, they will get the Visage. Okay, they're kind of leaving him. They will finally bring him down. Over on the west side. The west side. Fiver in trouble. Zayat's going to be able to hit him with the Root. And the Boulder Toss will come to as well. Clap is going to be there. The Chen does end up dropping. Meanwhile, though, tower does go down to the Dire, so 12 minutes in here with not really, you know, the contribution of the Terrorblade has been none thus far. They've gotten 2 towers down against this Vega Treant, so bit of a cause for concern, I would say. EK Phobos with the most farm on the Dire side, looking into the Shadow Blade, and has it in base, in fact. Alantimos needs not to die for the next little bit. 1,000 gold away from that relic. And Haste Rune picked up by Undershock here, bottom. Gonna be charged, but not gonna matter much. Mid lane tower a little bit low. Vega yet to aggress towards it. As top lane Slayer hanging around, level 7 on the Rubik. Jump forward, Coil is gonna catch at least 1. And they should have a lift as well, if need be. FNG just going to accept his fate, as charge was stolen beforehand, it seems. They do have eyes on Illidan. Now up to the high ground the Rubik will go. Illidan smoked. Well, mid lane, Undershock gonna go in onto Blizzy. He's pretty tanky though, and after the stun comes out, he'll simply just TP away. Now on the north side, Vega looking to re-engage here. Jump forward, Waning Rift onto 2. The Chen in trouble, and a couple of right clicks finish him off. Slayer does have the charge away. Nicely played. And will survive. So they get a return kill on the Chen. Or the solo kill on the Chen, as Brewmaster was able to TP out. Bobo is trying to make his way towards top, where Zayats resides, and is level 6 on the Treant. And a pretty darn even game, 9-8, 14 minutes in, and the net worth rather close as well. Illidan farming the enemy ancients, and that is how difficult the game has become for this TB. Meta is down. And Zayat's looking to find G. He might just find him here. There he is. Ah, Tiny there as well. Did Zayat see him? Yes, the pings come out from the Radiant side. He has a sentry. So DK Phobos lucky enough to back away up onto the high ground. Slayer coming through with the charge though, and Palantimos is going to be able to dodge with the rage. Slayer though, he's going to get blown up, but the split comes through. They'll get the return kill on the Chen easily. Now G in trouble and isolated out. DK Phobos trying to make it away. G still alive for now. Zayat's pursuing, and the boulder toss will be there. Last right click. Oh, they kill off the Treant quickly though with the toss. FNG able to make it away. DK Phobos now back into the fray. Nice stun, and the Nether Strike will be there onto Undershock. He does have a Waning Rift. Doesn't pop the Waning Rift, though. He goes instantly for the Illusory Orb. And I feel like that would have saved his life, but maybe a bit panicky there. And that is certainly favorable for Spirit overall. As you see, again, a major influx of golden experience going the way of this Tiny, who now finds a Rubik with the charge vision and is able to take him out easily. Palantimos not committing too hard to that last fight, as he was close to the Radiance, but here's the Roche Steel, Chen, Terrorblade, and Visage, and they'll make easy, quick work of this. And Visage will be the one to pick up the Aegis. Haste on Illidan will allow him to probably farm up these Ancients.
Coin of the realm. Coin of the realm.
And yeah, Vega slipping with their early lead. But soon to have this Radiance on Palantimos. We'll see if they can turn the heat up on that item pickup. Slayer really nothing to speak of item-wise. Treant kind of similar. Looking for... the hell is this item? And while charge comes out top lane, Rage is there, but the stun will be there onto Zayats as well. He's got the overgrowth though. It'll connect onto 3. Primal Split is there. They want to chase forward, but it's a little bit dicey here with the Aegis onto the Visage. They'll Cyclone him, throw him up into the air, and they probably need to get the hell out of dodge. Slayer going to be charged up. Nice coil, though, to keep them back by Undershock. And the Infest coming through. Fadebolt is there. The Hand God too late to save the Spirit Breaker. Now Palantimos needs to run out, jump forward. Clap will hit onto a few by the Brewmaster. And now coming through is Undershock. DK Phobos. He goes down. The toss back is not in time. That is a huge kill on the Tiny. Unfortunately, it goes to the Rubik, who now has 1,400 gold. He's rich, but it was a godlike streak. 705 going to Slayer, unfortunately. And the Terrorblade, not present for all of that, was farming away. But there it is. It's kind of the reveal of the Radiance, if you will. I'm not sure if it was delivered mid-fight or not, but in any case...
Coin of the realm.
Prize.
A very surprising teamfight win from Vega. Did not look great for them, but Undershock came in with that 4-man coil. They hit the Infest onto everyone, so a ton of AoE magic damage, and that kind of proved to scatter Spirit. Undershock looking for a Lincoln's is not all that far away. It's about 2,000 gold from it. And maybe, you know, cancel a charge, but perhaps even make a play on a Sunder, throwing it on a teammate. They do know that the Treant is nearby. Oh, sentry is down. Oh, he's being charged, and he is dead. 3 sentries committed for this Treant, because they know that they can take towers when he's not up. And look how quickly this structure will go down with the Visage and the Terrorblade. Dragonlance is there for Illidan. From the low ground, they'll be doing a good amount of work here with Undershock. Jump forward, though. There's the big coil and the clap. Primal Split is there. They blow up the Terrorblade instantly. Throw the Visage into the air, working on FNG and DK Phobos. DK Phobos, the big target here. They try and bring him down to the Tiny. He's being sent back, but they get him in time with one swipe from the Lifestealer. And now G in trouble, isolated out all by his lonesome. And they don't even care about the familiars at this point, as G will be brutally slaughtered. Waning Rift will take out one of the familiars. Undershock back. And a bit of confidence there from Team Spirit as they take out the Treant. But a massive combo from the tree line. Undershock comes in with his combo. Blizzy blinks in with the clap, and the Infest there as well from Palantimos. And just a disaster for Team Spirit as Vega gaining confidence in this matchup. Almost have the Vlads on the Brewmaster. Zayat's looking for... Gosh, I don't even know. I want to say Ags, but what the heck is this crap? Zayats has a sentry down. Oh, and they will catch him. Overgrowth is available, though. Zayat's waiting to use it here. 3 heroes nearby. But they don't have the setup, and he will just make it away. Undershock infested. Blinks to safety. And G will find the denial on the mid lane tower.
That should help.
Alright, what the hell is he building, guys? I'm stupid. Apologies to the other caster. Oh, it's Meteor Hammer. God, how did I not know Meme Hammer? Alright. Anyways.
A barrel of laughs.
DK Phobos fallen off a bit since his reign as King of Net Worth. We'll try for the Avatos, but Blizzy able to make it away, and now being charged by the Rubik here. DK Phobos in trouble. They find him with the coil. Sentry is there. Another big kill for Vega. And a big steal for Slayer up against this Shadow Blade. To have that charge at the ready. The moment he sees this Tiny, able to lock in on him. And now G being gone on here. Zayats gets the root off. And charge up by the Rubik. Hits him with the stun. Can hit him with the lift as well. It looks like Spirit are setting up on this, but G, is he really that tanky? Jump forward, clap finds him, and Biver needs to turn and run. Now Undershock looking to find in the backline some more. Has a blink available. Illidan nearby. We'll just blow up the wave mid lane. And help facilitate the push bottom.
Invisibility.
Palantimos to find the last hit on that, and does have his standard Radiant Solar Crest. He's going into the S and Y now, and the Meme Hammer completed up on the Treant, as well as the Lincolns completed on Undershock. Undershock gonna find FNG, coil him up, and he is playing a little ring around the rosy, but more than likely gonna bite the dust here.
No. I free you from.
Meanwhile, G being stalked by Zayat's bottom, but Doesn't have enough damage with just the Brewmaster. Maybe with the meme hammer.
Go for my master.
In any case, looks like he'll blow up this wave. I like it. Nobody saw that.
Silence. A prize.
As the tier 3's down, they will eliminate the bottom shrine, the much less important shrine for the Radiant side. Rubik gonna go defensive with his aura.
Behold.
Undershock with a surprise inside, making his way down bottom, where G currently resides, and Zayat's actually making his way over as well. Could just find him here. Orb catches a glimpse and out of the Infest Bomb
Stay near. Puck out.
comes Palantimos. Coil keeping him in place, and G gonna take a spill for the 6th time in this game. And Vega outmaneuvering Spirit at this point. Their Terrorblade has been given some room to come back into this game. And he does have a Manta on top of the Dragon Lance, but it's been a rough one for him overall. Certainly now with the Manta he can pretty reliably sunder, but there's still a Lincoln's. There's still a root from the Treant to at least momentarily interrupt. And now Smoke Up, Undershock, Slayer making their way towards mid. DK Phobos a difficult kill.
Gold for me.
Zayat's going to join them as well. Let's have the Meteor Hammer, so as Blizzy pushes in top, you'll see this entire Team Spirit kind of sitting on that side of the map. And Vega will take what they're given at this point, which is the top tier 2.
Silence.
That should help.
Meanwhile, FNG down bottom with the Visage Familiars is going to elicit a response from Vega, and it will be Undershock to make it back to base.
Here I am.
Gold for my task.
Silence.
Now Undershock preemptively given the living armor just in case. FNG nearby, but really no one else in the area, and he will TP out.
Silence.
Also has the Lincoln, so pretty difficult to kill off.
Greetings.
Trouble seems ready. Bottom.
Into the Roche pit, Palantimos and Blizzy gonna go with the Drunken Haze and the Radiance. Shouldn't be too difficult for them to do this. Radiant don't currently see this ward, but if they step up the hill, they will. In the meantime, just focused on Roche. And they do need to get back bottom once again.
Horn of the realm.
Likely look for them to push completely out bottom with this Aegis. Diet's doing a little scouting, doesn't see anyone, so kind of safe play right now from Vega, as they may anticipate someone waiting up on the hill. Yeah. So the pings are going out in this general area. And they'll bait the Lifestealer who has Aegis for now. Feeling he's safe enough to do this old thing. Well, Zayats is in trouble. He's going to get Nether Struck up, and the send back on the Chen creeps will keep them safe for now. He'll living armor himself and try and make it away as DK Phobos comes in towards him. He gets the overgrowth off, though, and he will be safe for now. Now TP inbound, Undershock looking for blood with the orb forward. Trying to find DK Phobos. He's juked up to the north, though. And perhaps the Chen not so lucky for Biver. For now, he's undetected. But we'll run into the Rubik. Slayer is there. Oh, does not get anything off as he's watching the team fight over on the east like I should be. And G in trouble. Hand to God is there, but so is the Coil. Illidan is going to get his BKB off. And we'll have Reflection stolen by Slayer. Now the orb coming through. FNG a little bit out in no man's land. Illidan, though, doing work against Slayer with Phobos. Palantimos in the meantime taking out the Chen. And now the split on the south side is going to look to focus DK Phobos. He pops off the BKB, gets a toss up onto the puck. And now FNG back down to the low ground, back down to earth. And Illidan going to try and cut the wave here. Does not have TP. And Zayat's in close pursuit. They do have sentries nearby. Can Zayas find him? No. He guesses down to the south. And Terrorblade up to the north. So that'll be that. Level 20 on Undershock. Seems to be secured here. And soon to be on the Lifestealer. Imagine the evasion going to be very useful versus the team. He's level 15 right now. It's quite a ways behind. Not much to speak of since the Vlads for Blizzy, but he's working on an AC for his unit. And the S&Y completed up, and Mjolnir, of course, against the Terrorblade.
My thrift
and the Visage, for that matter. Queued up for Palantimos.
Fear in your eyes. Have another. I insist.
Funny to see both teams playing as if their entire lineup is behind them, but really farming on the wayward sides of the map.
Gold for me.
And it will be the 20% evasion for the Lifestealer. Picked up.
That should help.
That was a funny tree toss. Didn't quite connect. Mid lane Soul Ring is available for Blizzy, so he should have Clap Split. Meanwhile, Undershock up on the high ground is going to find the Chen. Apologies for only catching the tail end of that, but that will definitely ensure this tier 2 and more. At least an attempt at more. Visage Familiar's bottom looking to cut the wave. Jump forward. Yules is going to find the TB, excuse me. And Coil will keep him in place for now. Blizzy getting low. He really needs to split here. Or Overgrowth, does it give him the time? It does not. He doesn't get the split off. And now Vega forced to turn and run. Zayat's in trouble, going to be dusted up. Palantimos into the Undershock puck. He's going to make his way out. And with the gem in hand, Undershock not really willing to pursue forward. Yep. Just a missed opportunity at the split there for Brewmaster. Good focus fire from Team Spirit as Phobos comes in, lets the combo loose on him, and FNG as well.
Behold!
Undershock looking into the Ags. Well, I don't know how he's getting out of this one, boys, but the Lifestealers... Okay, Telekinesis could do it. That was good. Of course, the... actually, no resummon for 35 seconds here, so... Familiar's off the map for the next little while. We saw the BKB used by the Terrorblade in the most recent engagement. Full Mjolnir is up for the Lifestealer now. And Undershock should be working on his next item as well. 2,000 gold on the way to an Ags.
Silence. Greetings.
Smoke up on the high ground. Undershock looking to do the same thing that they did to the Chen a moment ago. And it'll be DK Phobos to show himself. He uses his combo, and now they're going to jump in on him. He's going to be forced to BKB, but the charge and the root are there. DK Phobos, Hand of God, is it enough? No, they blink forward with a few more right clicks and bring him down. He will buy back, but they'll force the glyph at the very least. In the meantime, Visage working on the tower over in the off lane. As the charge coming through from the Rubik. But G has TP'd back. Now Palantimos has the static charge available. Linkens is going to get procced on him, and now Phobos in trouble. Charge coming through, but Palantimos chasing him down. He's going to get sent back to base. Has the Lifestealer overcommitted. He gets healed up by the cheese and forced back out. Sunder is there onto Blizzy, and Illidan will stand his ground. Meteor Hammer coming out from Zayats. He's in trouble now. Will likely be brought down. They get a melee Rax, but it costs them their Brewmaster, and it costs them their Treant. And they lose the tier 2 bottom in the meantime as well. They do end up getting the range racks on top of it. So it's a full lane here, 36 minutes in. And Slayer has stolen meta. Little guy.
A prize.
Not quite as scary as the Terrorblade meta.
What have we here?
But he does have a Ghost Scepter now. Speaking of scary Terrorblade meta. Familiar's moving real quick for G here as he attempts to continue this sort of split push style.
Here I am. Silence.
Undershock level 23 at this point alongside the 22 Lifestealer and Tiny. Really could use that plus 420 Blaze It. Or something like a Hex or a Shiva's, perhaps even more appropriate. AC is built up by Blizzy, and they do have the Solar Crest on Palantimos, so this will be a quick Roche attempt as creeps encroach on the Dire base. I believe it's only the second Aegis of the day. There is a Refresher Shard, so it is the third, and they'll give it over to the Brewmaster. Cheese in hand as well, so really going to try and ensure that the Brew survives this one. The last 2 fights, he's died almost instantly. And he has no excuses. And Blizzy does in this one, as they'll tend to the bottom lane to ensure the Visage has no path for split push. Or at least a less desirable one with the tier 3 standing top. Zayat's looking for any stragglers. Familiars up top. Gonna pop out with the Rage and finish those off. So 3 Familiars down and instantly resummoned, but there'll be no resummon for the fight if there is one happening soon. Undershock does have the boots of travel, so likely Palantimos and him will join up the rest of the squad at bottom lane after taking out this wave. And indeed, that'll be the case. Oh, Undershock finds Phobos with the coil. Do they want to commit on this entire jump out from Palantimos? Will force the BKB from Phobos. Zayat's actually unable to get the overgrowth to connect. But there's no BKB on the Tiny, so not a terrible time to go in. Jump forward. He's just going to instantly split is the Brew, and they're going to start to work on the building with the Demolish. And they will get that done. Palantimos going to work on the melee racks as well. And the Brewlings have all been taken out except for the Earth one here. Meanwhile, they take away the Aegis very quickly with the Terrorblade. He's going to be thrown up into the air. Blizzy back into the fray, jumps forward. He's going to refresh, split again. And the Meteor Hammer going to fly down, connect onto FNG. FNG in trouble. Hand of God is going to be there for now. Palantimos getting low, though. The Terrorblade just shredding through the Lifestealer. They do end up getting the melee racks. And Blizzy trying to make it out to safety. Is able to blink away, but could still be in trouble. Living Armor going to be popped onto him, and Meteor Hammer going to connect onto G. Toss forward, though, is likely to ensure Blizzy's death. So each time they press uphill here, Vega are really feeling the pain of the TB. And he is level 20 now. Got that almost 100% uptime reflection. They do get some good damage done on the tier 4s in the meantime via the creeps in mid lane, but still not an ideal attempt at high ground. They do lose the Lifestealer and the Treant. Or the Brewmaster, excuse me. Daedalus completed up on DK Phobos, and he's looking for blood. 23 on the Tiny. Not the greatest 25 cool balance IMO. Although 5-second avalanche pretty cool. And depending on the BKBs, I suppose the 3 toss charges could be good as well, but not when you don't go for the 20 toss talent. We'll see where he goes, but minus 7-second tree grab, certainly a very nice talent. Shock is level 25, does have the 420 GPM ticking away. And could certainly use a supplementary item to his current toolkit.
Illusion.
Still hanging around invisible. Is Undershock and now infested up. And they're going to use this smoke invisibility combo to know when the enemy is near. Smoke is going to pop. Undershock going to find one. And it is going to be the Terrorblade, the most important one. He has a buyback, can't TP to Shrine. FNG going to get rooted up here. Static charge. He's going to be thrown onto Zayas for safe measure. And FNG in trouble. Undershock even getting some extra efficiency out of that orb as he sends it over to the wave. And the Chen creeps will be brought back. We look at the buyback scenario, guys, late into this one. And FNG does not have it, although the Terrorblade does. Palantimos going to dodge the avalanche, and we will see the Terrorblade buy back into the game. And Vega very happy with simply the Terrorblade buyback at this point. Creeps do a little bit of damage to the tier 4s. And range rack still in good standing. Roche is not up for 2.5 minutes minimum, so BKB being built into by Blizzy. That's looking at a Lotus Orb, and Hex is certainly purchasable.
A prize.
Haste!
For the puck. Could use a little more for buyback.
Silence. Here I am.
Go for my master. Invisibility.
Gives away the gem, purchases up the Hex. Still needs 700 until buyback is available. But it looks like Vega are keen to attack here with this freshly picked up Hex. And Slayer could just run into his own demise.
Have another.
Alright, they're going to look to go on the Brewmaster. He has a BKB available. Does not get it off, though. And they will eliminate him immediately. Now going forward and pressing onto the Chen. They will be able to get him. Undershock in trouble, though. BKB is there from Illidan. He gets the Sunder off onto Palantimo. So he'll get the Infest off, but they kill him right after. And interesting to see them engage after losing the Brewmaster so darn quickly. They even bought back on the Brew, and Vega with, I don't know. I felt it was questionable. You just let the Brew go there, especially having buyback, knowing Roche is not up. There's really nothing to lose. You're pretty good at blowing up the wave, even if they're pushing at you, so I don't know. Curious to me that they would, but I guess they felt they were very strong with the freshly picked up Hex and wanted to go in. Almost level 25 on the Lifestealer. Same with Tiny though, and the Visage. Terrorblade's still a good amount of ways away.
Gold for my tab.
And now with no buyback on the Brew, Vega are kind of forced to play passive, where they've really been dictating the pace of this game, specifically with Undershock until this point.
Behold. I'm out. Greetings.
Puck working on a Moon Shard, probably for his Lifestealer. Yeah, and Vega kind of huddled up. Or Spirit kind of huddled up, whereas Vega's a little more spread, but it's not as if the Lifestealer is farming at this point.
Behold.
And even so, he's just not quite as scary as a Terrorblade, despite having a net worth advantage. Roche going to be up in 1 minute. Both sides well aware of that possibility.
Silence. Invisibility.
Big telekinesis range as far as control in the air for Slayer. And meanwhile, over on the top side, they are going to try and go in, but they don't get the Hex off onto the TB. And Undershock is able to make his way out. They do bait the BKB, though, and that's 15 seconds until Roche. If Slayer hangs around here long enough, maybe that's what gives them the confidence, to go in on Roche. Slayer in the pit could be in a little bit of trouble here. Is forced to blink out. Blink in from Blizzy, and they blow up the Familiars quickly. And now Roche is up. So no BKB on Terrorblade for 38 seconds, and no Familiars for the Visage, or at least no resummon on the Familiars. Oh, jump forward. Hex is going to be there right onto DK Phobos, but he gets the BKB off. Overgrowth is planted nicely into a few. FNG in trouble, but in the front lines, Undershock was blown up immediately, and now the split not going to be there. Nice stolen Sunder from Slayer is going to keep up the Brewmaster, but they just don't have the damage at this point, even with the split. FNG jump forward onto the Rubik. The Chen going to sit on his face. And Palantimos left out all by his lonesome here, trying to bring down G. Can't do it. He'll try to kill off Biver in the meantime. G actually is going to survive, but Blizzy tossed it forward onto the Visage, and with the Leech Seed, they will take him out. Still, though, Spirit overwhelming Vega by the Roche Pit, and they just do not have an answer for this Terrorblade at all. Just a litany of armor items, and it's still not enough. Well, Blink Overgrowth in a couple. DK Phobos searching, and he will find the tree. Zayat's going to Lotus himself and die. And again, guys, none of these heroes on the Radiant side with buyback and Spirit. We've already had a 60-minute game. It looks like we're heading for another, and it looks like we may even be heading for a 5th and final game.
Immortality.
In this grand finals.
What have we here? No, take that.
And, you know, we talked about it right at loadout. They took this Jakiro lineup previously very late, but doing so against with this Lifestealer lineup, doing so against the Terrorblade is just not the same. And there's a gem on the deck here, so a little silver lining for Vega's side, but you know, despite having less net worth than the Radiant heroes, this Terrorblade is just a lot scarier. And now he's got Refresh on Meta, Refresh on Sunder, and a Cheese to boot, and double BKB.
Gold for my master. Endurance run.
Zayat's in trouble here. Familiar's looking for him. He's going to blink over to the north. And they will drop down the Cliff Ward. Arcane Rune on TB. And he's nearing that level 25 mark as well.
Coin of the realm.
And he is just not afraid in any sort of way with Aegis in hand. Jump forward. They don't even catch him with the puck combo. And Undershock forced to jaunt out. Just trying to blow the wave up, though. Doesn't feel like they were trying to initiate on the Aegis carrier.
Silence.
Well, Team Spirit will make their first attempt at breaching high ground. As 5 here. Fadebolt gonna fly through. They're gonna take out the tier 3 with ease. Glyph is there for now. Jump forward from Undershock, gonna try and blow up the wave. And will jaunt away. Coil is there. Meteor Hammer going to drop onto the familiars as well. They get the Hex off onto the TB. They will blow up the Aegis. He's kind of out of position as well. DK Phobos going to run in. They don't have a Hex, though, and they will BKB up on the TB. And Zaya's going to jump forward with the root, force out the meta and BKB refresh. And ready to fight again. Jump forward, Undershock. Jaunts down to the south, and Illidan just makes quick work of these buildings. Clap not going to do all of much. And now Team Spirit going to look to turn as the Nether Strike will find the tree. Undershock in trouble, forced to Yules himself up. Only the Chen has been brought down by Palantimos, and Undershock is able to make it back out, but doesn't feel like the Brewmaster will be so lucky. He's taken out here, and Illidan still healthy, and he gets the Sunder off on his teammate. Palantimos pressing forward onto him, though. They finally get the Terrorblade. He does have buyback, though, and so does the entirety of the Dire lineup. And we see 2 buybacks right away as creeps were walking into the bot lane, and so feels like just a couple of kills for the sake of a couple of kills for Vega, as well, at least they forced the buyback. That's kind of stupid to say, I suppose, but you know, they're not getting an objective off of this. Simply, they will get the buybacks.
A prize.
But perhaps a little moral victory that they show themselves they can kill this TB. He does, however, have cheese still in his inventory, 5,000 gold, so can't even pick up a moon shard here as his buyback's on cooldown, so there's really no loss in doing so. Smoke from Vega mid lane. And they'll drop down a ward here looking for someone. DK Phobos hanging around. Undershot. Seems like a risky play. Jump forward. Coil is going to find the Terrorblade. They're going to Primal Split and really commit in for this. They will send back the Terrorblade, though. Perhaps a bit of miscommunication. However, it doesn't really matter. It's his 5-second BKB regardless. I mean, that will be on cooldown, I suppose. But they'll at least force the buyback out from everyone, pretty much. The only buyback not on cooldown is the Chen. And again, we're in for another hour-long game.
Invisibility.
Vega just tends to take these things late. With lineups that don't really have any business being in the late game. As you can see by the Brewmaster dying to the TB illusions. Now DK Phobos pressing forward on him. And there is an Aeon disc up on Blizzy. Zayat's scouting the... oh, wow. G Visage out of position. They go in onto DK Phobos. And the Primal Split from the backside. They're going to look to try and take out this Tiny. They get him with the root. He'll be brought down. Oh, no. He's sent back to base. But the Terrorblade in trouble now. They get him. It's a dieback on the TB. Undershock still surviving as he jaunts out. Biver in trouble. Phase shifts out, excuse me. They will buy back on the Chen. It was the only buyback they had left. G up into the air. Gets his BKB off. Grave Chill will give him some move speed. Vega will reset with no Terrorblade on the battlefield for 1.5 minutes. They'll look for megas here. Jump forward, split. Gonna look to take out the buildings with the Demolish. Cyclone up into the air is G. Last couple sets of racks are gonna be taken out. And G down to the ground. Undershock jump forward with the Hex, finds it on DK Phobos, will not jaunt forward though, just looking to take out the tier 4s. They'll take one down, 60 seconds there. Avalanche is going to be dodged by the Rage, and now jump forward, Clap, going to get the Hex, but a big coil coming out from Undershock. Shivas is there as well. Huge combination from the puck, but they haven't brought anyone down yet. Dagon is there onto FNG. He's getting super low. A couple of tosses up on the Undershock, but he phase shifts it away, and Palantimos raging and hitting the throne. The GG is called. Vega Squadron 3-1 victory over Team Spirit, and they take the momentum after 2-0ing the Juggernaut Na'Vi this morning. And some incredible play from Undershock throughout the day on his Jakiro, on his puck in this final game. Only 3 deaths on this puck. And just 770 GP. I guess that's kind of cheating with the talent, but this guy was just playing out of his mind all game long, finding all the right picks for his squad. 44-28, another hour-long game for Vega. They must be exhausted and elated all at the same time. Congratulations to them. They have made it through to GESC Thailand, May 9th to 12th in Thailand, the first ever Dota event in Thailand, a minor on the DPC circuit. And beyond that, the winner of that tournament will move on to GESC Indonesia, another major to happen with a incredible prize pool. Look at Palantimo, 71,000 damage, and they pick this guy, this hero, in the first phase every single game it's available, it seems. Their profit doesn't work out for them in game 3. They just go right back to the bread and butter, 19-3 and 18. Perhaps even arguably a better stat line than the puck. But that tandem, of course, for Vega played out of their mind, and honestly, Slayer with some very, very solid drafts. And again, looking like a cohesive unit here, Vega, they take these lineups that don't really belong in the late game to the late game. And they're able to just outmaneuver the opponents. Got out executed pretty hard in game 3, but they drag it back and win it in 4 games here. Again, congratulations to Vega, guys. They're going to make it May 9th to 12th to the LAN for the GESC Thailand Minor. Till then, it's been MRP here on Beyond the Summit on behalf of GESC, Beyond the Summit, and myself. I hope you guys enjoyed the cast. Happy Easter. If you did, you can follow me over on Twitter at MRPDota. Be sure to follow at Beyond the Summit as well for all things Dota 2. GG, guys.